things because we have to do them. We are doing them because we already have a knowledge about what we are doing. That's what we call evidence-based practice. You're practicing based on a particular, you are following a particular way of practicing. It's not like you just decide what you want to do and what time you want to do it and all of that. For example, if you want to do, maybe, for example, you want to administer a medication and it shows oral route, it's supposed to be oral. That is already the way of administering that medication. You can't come in and start thinking of your own way of doing it. That is why we have principles that are guiding the profession. So when you talk about linking the theory with the practicals, it's like already, maybe in the classroom, you've studied everything, you have the theory with you. Then when you go out there for maybe for clinical rotation or maybe for when you start practicing, what you have in your head, you start applying it in the field in real. That is, you're the one, you're facing the reality in the field at that time. It's not like you're still hearing you have to do this, to do that, but at that point in time you are actually doing it hands on. So first of all, if there is already a gap in your with your knowledge, like for example, you're not knowledgeable enough regarding a particular procedure, you're going to struggle. And once you're not knowledgeable enough regarding that procedure, what happens is you will not have that confidence, you will not be competent, and the patient is going to suffer. Like I said yesterday, everything we are doing, we are putting the client at the center of the care. Everything we are doing, it is the client that is the main our priority. So every action we are taking, it should always be that our client is safe and the highest quality of care is always delivered. So one other thing is, when you have the theory, you go to the field, you're trying to fill in the gap that exists between your theory and real-time scenarios. So first of all, that's why I said yesterday, it's very important that you should know what you are doing. It's very, very important that you should have the background knowledge. You should know the rationale for everything you are doing. You should have a rationale. Once you have a rationale for everything you're doing, you're going to do it right, because you know, if this is the reason for doing this and I'm doing it this other way, then definitely I am putting the client at risk, and I'm also putting maybe my license at risk, or all of that. So definitely it's always good to have the knowledge that you're needed before you even go to practice, because if you start practicing without even having the knowledge, you tend to doubt yourself and you will not be competent enough. And with that, so when you start practicing, you start applying critical thinking. Because for example, questions are not the same. That's one other thing. Even though we have to act in a particular way, but people respond differently to different situations. For example, someone's ability to tolerate pain is lesser than another person's own. So you always have to put that into consideration. That is why our care is always the person-centered. The way you care for me, the way you care for the next person it's going to be a little different. It's not like we are deviating out of the norm, but maybe my own way of feeling pain in a scale of 0 to 5, the same, we might have the same burn, but my own rating could be 5, but your own is 3, because your own ability to tolerate the pain is different from my own. So first of all, having that knowledge that people respond differently to different situations already makes you to start applying critical thinking, in the sense that if you find yourself in a situation, you'll be like, okay, this person is different from this person is different. So how am I going to approach this person in a way that I will deliver the highest quality of care, and at the end of the day, I will be satisfied doing my job. So one thing, the importance of being able to link your theory with practicals is that it enhances your competence and your skills. Once you have the knowledge and once you're able to perform, like for example, it's always common when you first of all like go for clinical rotation, the first procedure you're always able to do, you always feel very happy, very, very happy. It's like it's like you've in short, it's like you started something new. You always feel very excited, like, oh my God, this is working. So it's once you start, when you do it the first time, you do it the second time, you do it the third time, you competence starts setting in, and the skills, you develop more skills and you become more competent. And once you're competent, you're confident. And once you're also confident, you deliver the highest quality of care. And also, one thing that is important to link your theory with the practical is that it also ensures the patient's safety. Highest patients at every point in time, the patient should be safe. The patient should not come into maybe a clinic, or you should not attend to a patient at home. The patient comes in with malaria, and at the end of the day, the patient goes back with something that's even more than malaria. You've not done the patient any good. Or maybe the patient comes in with malaria and goes back maybe with emotional disturbance because of the way you treated the patient or because of the way you attended to the patient. So at every point in time, we should always have the care, the compassion, and the love at the center of everything we do. So one other thing we should note is, if you're going out, for example, if you're still going out for clinical rotation, you should strive as much as possible. Clinical rotation or time to practice does not mean you just keep your book aside and you're just going to the field just like that. There are things that you might learn, but you still need to learn again, read it over and over before you understand it. So it's not just a period where maybe you just forget about your books and you're like, okay, I'm in the field, I'm beginning to practice without definitely looking at what it was taught in class. So it's about being able to balance the gap that exists between the theory and the practicals. All right. Like I said, we talk about the importance, and it also helps you to be flexible. That's one important thing about knowing what you're doing. It helps you to be flexible, because once you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have the background knowledge, if they tell you this is how it's been done, or maybe I say I'm keeping this mouse here because I heard that this mouse is being kept here. I don't know the reason why this mouse is kept here. I'll always keep the mouse there. But someone that knows that this mouse is kept here because of this particular purpose, that person can move the mouse to the left because he or she knows that moving it to the left will not change anything about it. So it helps you to be very much more flexible in the way you think, the way you do things. It becomes very, very much easier for you to be flexible. All right, the next topic, this one is a very, very important topic. Even if you don't want to go home with something, make sure you go home with this, because this is something that you will pay for someone to tell you, because it's working. There is no way you can progress with your career without being able to incorporate lots of things out there. It's okay to have the certificate. It's okay to be competent, but you need something that will sell you out. You need to sell yourself out, because even if you're competent, even if you have the highest grade, but nobody knows about you, you will still remain with your grades, you will still remain with your competence, and you will stay with it forever. So the next topic is how to position yourself in the job market. Very, very important topic. Okay, before we go on, I want to ask, who has updated his or her CV in the last couple of months? Maybe 6 months, or let's say the beginning of this year. If you've updated your CV, even if you're a student, it doesn't matter. If you've updated your CV, just type in the chat box yes. Not 6 months, just this year, 2023. No one. Delight said yes. That's good, Delight. Who else? Who else? Brian said yes. That's nice, Brian. Anyone else? Sydney said yes. All right, that's good. 3 people said yes. That's good. All right. The reason why I asked this question is, having a CV is different from having a CV in quotes, because there is a way that you structure your CV that is going to captivate your employer. It's easy to just draft something normal and just keep it this one, but the way you present your CV speaks a lot about you. And definitely, if you're applying for a job and maybe I'm the employer, and I have two people applying for a job, and one person's CV is well structured in a way that you start seeing even the person working only through the CV, you already know that this person can do the job. Definitely, you will not expect me to even call you for interview because just your CV is already speaking a lot about you. So it's very, very important. There are lots of materials out there on Google that you can easily get how to structure your CV in a professional way. The recent way of doing your CV, try to get it, update your CV. Even if you're a student, it doesn't matter. Don't wait until you've completed your studies and maybe you hear of a job or opportunity somewhere and you start overnight, you just structure something and just send. When you send it like that, you yourself, you're not convinced it's the right thing you've done. And definitely when somebody stumbles on your CV, he or she already know if you will start even determining if you'll be able to do the job or not. The second is maintaining an online presence. Maintaining an online presence. It is very important. Very, very important. Your social media handles are currencies. They are very, very important currencies. Don't joke with them. Maintaining an online presence does not mean you should be a content creator or maybe you should be online all the time. There are some basic things on your social media platform that you have to be very technical about. Number one, what you have as your profile picture. Number two, what you have as your cover picture. Number three, your bio, your description, your brief description, and all of that. Even if you are a student, you can put it there, student at this, student at that. Yeah, you're a student doing this. And then with time, as you maybe if you graduate, you then go back and you update graduated from. You must not wait until you've completed your studies before you go in and start saying you start updating the things. No, even if you're a student at this school. I am a student, year one student at St. Louis University Institute. That's okay. And then when you graduate finally, you can then go and input that information. The next thing is what you post on your social media platform. It is very, very important. Don't post everything that like, especially what we share. Maybe you're not posting, or maybe what you share, the information you share. You cannot be someone that you expect people to maybe employ you in the future, or maybe people to collaborate with you, and everything you have on your social media platform is nonsense. Nobody's going to work with you because first of all, if you come in my inbox and you text me this or that, first thing I do is I view your profile. And if I see your profile and it's not really compelling to me, I will not even go further, because I think maybe you will not even have the value that is needed. That's how it is. Nobody is there to come and check what is in your heart. What you portray is what people will take you for. So what you share on your media is okay to share. You could share entertaining content, yes, but limit it as much as possible. If it's possible for you to even share content that is related to the healthcare industry, it is very important. That is a way of building credibility. When you start sharing things that are related to what you are doing, people start noticing. They might not even tell you this is what they are noticing until when you stumble over an opportunity, or maybe somebody needs you to do something. That's when they come to you and they will be like, okay, I have seen this you've done, I have seen this you've done, can we work together? That's the essence. Is you don't just wait and see the results just now. You don't just wait and say, okay, nothing is happening, I'll just sit quiet. No, you don't do that. For example, I have people I'm going to work with in the future because of what I have on my social media platforms. They come to me inbox because of what they've seen there. I've seen your work. Can we do this? Can we do that? That's how it is. There is no way there is no magic in it. You can connect with anyone you want, but it depends on how you present yourself, especially online. And one other thing is networking. Networking is very, very important. Like I said, okay, before we go further, who was able to connect with anyone last night after the Zoom meeting? If you connected with just one person, just indicate in the chat box. Just one person. I don't need two. I just need one person. Anyone? No one? Oh, Courage did. Well done, Courage. Anyone else? No one else did. Brian, I asked after the session of yesterday, did you PV anyone to say, okay, this I am Brian, I do this, I do this. Can we connect? Did you connect with anyone, even one person? No one else. All right. This is very important because one thing is when you see people in a group, like maybe a WhatsApp group, it it is an opportunity for you. It's okay for someone to say no, we cannot connect. It's okay to write someone and he or she doesn't reply to your message. It's very okay. When you want to grow, when you want to build a very powerful career, be ready to be rejected. Be ready to just be ready that somebody will say no. If you're just comfortable saying, okay, this person might say no, I will not be able to approach he or she, or maybe this or that. That is, it will keep you in the same position forever. Like seriously, it will keep you in the same position forever. You don't just wait for people to approach you. Approach people. Tell them nobody is scared. You shouldn't be scared of anyone. And there is no one that you approach the person the right way to connect with he or she, and he or she will tell you, no, I don't want to connect with you. It's very difficult. So it's good to network. It is very, very difficult. Even in school, network, positive one. Or I don't mean the other kind of positive, build positive relationship with people. Relationship is a powerful currency. For example, you might be in school and because of the relationship you have with somebody, maybe he or she might come across a job opportunity and just tell you, okay, I found this. Are you interested? It's very easy for you. You won't even go out to think of looking for a job or all of that. Maybe you just finish your school and you find yourself already working. It works. For example, when I completed my degree, before I graduated in August, I already had a job, not because I looked for a job, because someone recommended me. At that point in time, before I wanted to move to Douala to start working, I had two jobs already, and I had to choose among the two. And when I started the first job, few days later, one of the doctors I was working with a few months ago because of the internship and all of that, he called me, Kendria, there's this job opportunity here. Are you interested? I was already working. So to tell you that I finished in August and before September, I think I started that job on the 4th of September, something like that. I finished in August. I graduated in ending August. By September, I was already working. And not just that, I had choices to make. I didn't submit an application to say, okay, I want to apply for this job. I didn't do that. So that is to show you that the people you connect with matter a lot. The people you keep in your inbox, don't just keep people because they have to be your status viewers and you guys are just doing that. No. Even if you want to have those that you guys can be doing status viewing, make sure you have somebody in your inbox that even if the worst comes to the worst, that person can even recommend you and say, okay, there is this job here. Somebody can even say, okay, come here and you'll be able to have a job there. Or maybe not just a job, because of the relationship you create with somebody, he or she might collaborate with you in the future. So it is very important. One other thing is you seek recommendation and endorsement. For example, if you work maybe maybe during your clinical rotation and you do your internship, it's okay to ask for recommendation from maybe the senior colleague or senior nurse or maybe the doctors you work with. It is very important. It is very important because those things you think it's very common until when you find yourself in a situation where there are some people that just their recommendation can push you. Just saying I endorse you is pushing you already. So those are things that we have to take very, very, very pertinent. And one other thing is who we follow on the pages we follow on social media. It is very important. There are pages where you will not even you will not even have to sign in for maybe a coaching session or mentorship session, and you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot. Think of pages that will add value. Anything before you want to follow a page, before you want to read something, an article, ask yourself, is this going to add value or not? If it's not adding value to your life, I think it's not important. And one other thing is normalize reading long articles. Normalize reading long articles. Don't be the people, because it's very common now. Our level of concentration is very low. When you see, when you're reading, maybe you're scrolling through your page and you see a very long article, you just scroll, you just pass it. It's not good, because most of those long articles have something you will learn. You must have 2 or 3 things you will learn from it. So normalize reading those articles. Don't just scroll through and be like, I cannot read this article, it's too long. Or maybe you say, I cannot watch this video today. And like the video Stanley sent to the group, that video was sent by Dr. Joybert. For those who know him, I also recommend you follow him on Facebook or LinkedIn. Dr. Joybert is very important. When you go to his page, you will learn a lot where you will not even have to struggle. So one of the thing is that video he said, I think that video should be about approximately 45 minutes to 1 hour. I think you might be thinking, how can I watch a video for, I think, is it Stanley, how long is that video? I don't know. I watched that video, but I've forgotten how long the video is. So those kind of videos, they are very, very enriching. Because, for example, like I said yesterday, your LinkedIn account is a professional account. Just with your LinkedIn, you can have opportunities a lot of opportunities. You can have a job only through LinkedIn. It's very possible. You don't even have to go and start going for physical application and all of that. It is very important. So I'll still encourage us, after the meeting, make sure you read, you watch the video, and in case you have any other worry, you can always ask. Watch the video, and the video is made, it also cut across any other platform that you are unable to understand it. And the other page I also recommend is Ngom Christian. He will teach you how to answer interview questions. He will teach you regarding CV. All of those pages, they are very important. They are very, very important. And even on WhatsApp, you can even have the channels in which you subscribe. Every day there is information. There are changes in the profession. There are changes in this. There are things you have to learn every day. So it's even more convenient because those things are closer to us. You don't even need to go out there and start searching for information before you know what you want to know. So it is very, very important. The next thing is continuous personal development. You can never know everything. It's not possible. You can never know everything. Personal development is a continuous process. It's a continuous process. Every day you have to learn. If you want to be the best, if you really desire to strive, you have to learn how to learn. Don't say, my own school be unfinished. I don't feel read for long in pidgin. That's a common phrase that people normally use. The moment you say you cannot read something, I just be like, okay, you cannot read this. Okay. You cannot learn this. Okay, that's fine. All right. Because when somebody tells you he or she cannot read this, I cannot read this, my own school be done correct, that tells a lot about that person. That is to show how rigid I can say that person can be. So continuously learn. In a month, you can make it like a routine. Each month, I have this book to read. Each month, I have this article to read. I have this. Just have a plan. Because the more you plan your month, your week, your day, it helps you to manage your time. So it's very important. Do something every day that will improve on yourself. Don't look at, like, you today should be different from the you that you were yesterday. Learn something, no matter how small it is. The next thing is volunteerism. This is something that is very, 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 very difficult at times. You just feel like, okay, because I've completed my studies, I've paid a huge amount of money to be able to complete my studies. Okay, for me to just get in and start working. You might have the opportunity to do that. I, for one, I did voluntary service for 1 year plus. Although I was doing it while doing my degree, but I did it like a full-time job. I wasn't doing it like maybe it's a voluntary service, I do 2 days a week. No, I was doing a full-time voluntary service. So it's important. First of all, when you do the voluntary service, it helps to build your competence. And secondly, it also helps you to like, just doing a voluntary service somewhere, it helps you to meet other people that could even help you. So just normalize it, just put in the back of your mind, even if I'm not working to be paid, let me even volunteer. You could even volunteer online, you could volunteer on site, it depends. Just volunteer to do something. The next thing is being professional and positive. It is very important. First of all, being positive, I will start by believing in yourself. Believing in yourself that you can do it. Being professional, anywhere you find yourself, even the work you up late in the night and be like, let me say, for example, Sydney, you should be able to say something about yourself. You should be able to say something about your profession that is different. Don't just be always like, maybe if they are discussing a topic that is related to health and they are giving something that you know this one is really jazz, you just continue, you just sit quiet. It's preferable to sit quiet than to say nonsense. But don't be quiet. If you're quiet in this generation, you will always struggle. You will always struggle. Always desire, before you step out to go for a gathering, just prepare yourself. What if I am asked, what do I do? What do I do? Who am I? You should have something to say. Even for 30 seconds, you should have something constructive to say. The next is prepare for interviews. Like I said, Gone Christian's page, it will teach you a lot about how to prepare for interviews question, and all of that. It is very important. Don't just wake up one morning and you say, okay, I've been booked for this interview, and you think maybe you just go there and you just blab around. Prepare. When you fail to prepare, when you reach there, it's just like the pressure will be too much on you, because you'll be like, I'm not even sure about what I can say. And from there, just because the way you're fidgeting, it already shows that you're not confident enough. Your confidence alone is going to help you a lot. And the next is be up to date with the latest trends and discoveries. There is a lot that is changing. AI has come to stay, and it's affecting the profession in one way or the other. There is a lot. For those that followed the sessions for yesterday, you can see there is a lot that is improving. So if you are not aware of what is changing, how will you even be able to incorporate yourself in the system? You have to be aware what is changing, what is new, what are the things that I have to learn, what are the things I have to unlearn, what are the things that are no longer done, what are the things that are no longer required, and all of that. It is very important to know what is changing. Especially if you're a student, know what is changing. Even when you're practicing, know what is changing. There are things that will change. There are opportunities that are coming up. Am I aware of the opportunities? If not, if you're not aware of something, you will never be able to even apply for it. So be up to date as much as you can. And there are so many ways you can be up to date. Even on maybe WhatsApp. If you subscribe to maybe the World Health Organization, their channel, what happens there every day? Like I've subscribed to it every day. There are new things, there are new discoveries, and they keep giving those informations. So what if you don't have, what if you're not subscribed to such channels? Or what if you don't normalize, maybe going on Google and just checking what's new in this profession? What happens? You will always be lacking. It will just be like maybe you're not doing anything. Maybe you always feel left behind, because people are progressing, things are changing, and your ability to be able to cope in this generation is how much you're able to be flexible and change, like being able to adapt to new changes. It is very, very important. So normalize learning new things. Normalize learning new things. Like someone was asking yesterday, I don't think it was, if it was during the Zoom meeting or maybe in my inbox, he has a knowledge gap. He or she has a knowledge gap when it comes to theory. For that kind of a person, I'll advise, have a plan. Okay, what part of it do I need help with? If it's maybe, because I know majority, if you ask 85% of the problems always comes from anatomy and physiology. Okay, if that is the case, all right, I know for this month, I will be studying the digestive system, and I focus on the digestive system. I go in and check how many modules. There are 10. All right. I know this week I will study this particular, like that. Like before you know it, before the year runs out, you would have known what maybe you would not even believe you will be able to know. So it's just about having a plan. Identify your knowledge gap. Identify where you have to improve yourself on. Nobody is the best, but the ability to keep on improving makes you different, makes you more successful. Because if you're unable to learn another thing and add to what you have, or unlearn what you already know, it's going to be very difficult for you. So it's good to have a plan, be it a student, or be it a practicing nurse, or be it someone that is still aspiring to get into the profession. Make sure you have a plan. Make a plan. Write down what you want. It is very important. Just don't think, okay, I want to be this. It's in my head. No, the more you write it, the more it becomes a reality for you. The more you put out time to write it down. When you write it, it becomes a reality for you. And when you write, maybe I want to do this, I want to arrive. Make sure you break it down into smaller achievable goals. For example, if you have a main goal, okay, if your main goal is maybe I want to work with the World Health Organization, okay, what am I supposed to do in order to reach here? I need to go to school, I need to obtain a degree. After my degree, I need to do this, I need to do that. Have the plan and break it down as much as you can. And one other thing I want to mention before we go to the career advancement opportunities is make sure as much as you can, strive to have even a bachelor's degree. It is very important. Strive to have even a bachelor's degree, because there are some opportunities that it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult for you to get it if you just end at the level of maybe an SRN or maybe a diploma. It's good. It's okay to have a diploma, but when you have a diploma, don't be comfortable at that position. Strive to even get a master's. It's fine. Just get something, just keep improving. You could even take other courses like Allison. There are free courses you can take that will boost up what you already know. It is very, very important. Strive to have the highest as you can. All right, so we'll move over to career advancement opportunities in nursing. In short, whatever I'll be giving now is just a summary of it. There are lots of opportunities. Like I said yesterday, you must not be in a clinical setting. There are lots of opportunities, but it depends on your way, on what you want and your ability to exploit those opportunities. Because if you don't know that there are opportunities, you will never be able to leverage on them. So one of the first opportunities we have as a nurse is you can either work in a clinical setting or out of the clinical setting. For example, like somebody that is a telehealth nurse, you don't definitely practice in a hospital or maybe in a clinic. You just consult patients like visually on Zoom meetings and all of that. Maybe if their situation is too critical, you can refer them to the clinic. You also have the travel nurse. Like a travel nurse, you'll definitely not be in the hospital always. You're just doing like, you understand what I mean? Later on, you can do a research, and all of this will be based on what you want as an individual. Because, for example, somebody might want to be a travel nurse, another person might want to be a critical care nurse. It depends on what you want to be. So if you have chosen what you want to be, make sure you research on that topic. You research on that opportunity. What am I required to have? What are the qualifications that are required to reach that particular level? And the next thing we have is the nurse anesthetist. That is one of the top paying opportunity. It is very much recommended. After your degree, you can have a master's and all of that. You follow it. Just have a plan. That's the first thing. Don't just be like, okay, after my diploma or after my degree, I'm just going to look for an average job somewhere and I'm earning 45K or 100K, or maybe I just have a roadside pharmacy and all of that. Yes, it's all right. You can always start from somewhere. But once you're doing that, make sure you have other plans, bigger plans. Challenge yourself with big plans. Dream big. Dream big. Let your dream be even more, let the weight of your dream be even heavier than the weight of your body. Dream big. Yes, you can become anything you want. It depends on your ability to work and consistently do something that will help you. Then the next opportunity we have is a pediatric nurse. You can be a pediatric nurse, like just focus on being for children and all of that. You can just focus on that. Anything children, it's you. You can still focus on just that. And also you can be a public health nurse. It's possible. You can be a nurse. There are lots of opportunities. You can be a nurse informatic. That one is another separate position where you just do mostly the IT part of the job, just the paperwork and all of that. That's just your focus. You're not practicing in the hospital, but you are having other things that you can do. There are lots of these opportunities. This is just like a brief, this is just like a summary of the summary. Even if you go and you type on Google the top 10 nursing opportunities, you will see them. And if what you want is among the top 10, okay, this is what I want. Keep it down, write it out, and start doing something to achieve that goal. It is not about having the knowledge, but it's your ability to start doing something different. It is your ability to start doing something different. So today, the first thing we have to do, like an assignment, is connect with 10 people. Inbox 10 people in the group, even those that are not in this WhatsApp, in this Zoom meeting. It's all right. My name is Kendria Boshi. I am this, I am that. Please, can we connect? 10 people. And when you do the 10 people, send me a message inbox. For those that are really, if you really, really desire to do something different, send me a message inbox. All right, I connected with 10 people. And the next thing is watch the video on the video Stanley sent in the group regarding LinkedIn. It is very important. Set your LinkedIn profile. If you have issues with setting up the profile, get to me. I will help you out. Do something. Just start doing something today. Start doing something. Update your bio, update your profile pictures. The picture you took in 2003 or 2010, change it. If you have its beauty, its LinkedIn, or it's whatever on your social media platforms, change it. Change it to your real name. So change it to your real name. So don't have it's pretty, it's label, whereas your name is Kendria Boshi. It will not help you. And also some of the stuff you've been sharing on your platform that you know that is not adding value, delete them. Remove them or remove them before you say I do not tell you. Remove them, because those things have a part to play in your life. You will not see the importance now, but maybe in the future or in the next couple of years, you will start seeing, oh, because of this thing. And the funny thing about it is nobody will ever tell you this is the problem. You will never, unless you're able to identify it, until someone is very, very good enough, he or she will not tell you it's because of this thing that I saw here that you will not be able to be to have the job. Very little things that we neglect, it will cost us a lot. So number one, connect with people, 10 people at least. Send me a message inbox. I'll be waiting. Number two, watch the video Stanley sent. Update all your information. And number three, today is Thursday. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Before Monday, have a plan. Write down something. Write down, okay, now that I'm in the profession, now that I'm practicing already, what is the way forward for me? What do I desire to do? What do I desire to become? Write it down and start doing something about it. It is very important. No matter how much knowledge you have, if you don't start something, if you don't start changing something about your life, nothing will ever change. You will keep being on the path. You'll keep being someone that will keep complaining every day. The economy is hard. This is hard. This is difficult. This is this, and you will stay on in the same position for 10 years. You will still be there. 20 years, you will still be there. 30 years, you will still be there. So try to do something. And the good thing about doing something is once you start doing something, you feel motivated. When you have that intrinsic motivation to do something, the more you do it, the more you feel like I want to do more of this thing. It is very, very important. And one last thing I also want to mention is sleep. Sleep. You see this thing called sleep? It's a destiny destroyer. You see what we call sleep? Unless you've arrived completely, and I'm not sure everyone has arrived, because even those that have already made it up to a particular level, they still desire to become something. They still desire, like, okay, if for example, if your financial goal is to have 1 million, if they give you 1 million francs CFA, tomorrow you'll be like, okay, I think I desire to have 1.5 million. It's normal. That is human. So unless you want to tell me you've arrived, you've reached that level where you are at your peak, that you don't want any other thing, then you can sleep. You can sleep for 8 hours. You can sleep for 10 hours. It's fine. But if you are someone, a young professional, that you really, really desire to grow in your profession, as much as you can, limit the number of hours you sleep. Like I will always say on my page, it's not the number of hours you sleep that matters. It is the quality of sleep that you get. It is the quality of sleep that you get that matters. You can sleep for 10 hours. I sleep for 3 hours and I'm well rested. Whereas you're there for 10 hours, you've not rested. And 10 hours means, just say you sleep for 10 hours a day times 10 days. How many hours have you slept? You see? And then when you multiply it by your age, means maybe 3/4 of your life you've been sleeping. And I don't think anyone wishes to sleep like that. So start doing something. Why? Once the advantage is that we are still very young. The advantage is that we have the resources at our disposal. Make use of the resources. Make use of the people you know. Make use of those that you don't even know. Go to them. Approach them. Tell somebody, okay, I am this, I am that. Learn something from them. Make it a routine to always learn something. So, all right, before we go to questions, I would like to conclude the session by saying that no matter what we do, no matter how much we desire to grow, there is one thing that we have to take into consideration: building a personal relationship with God. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. Build a personal relationship with God, because everything that we desire in life, He has it in His hands. The moment you build a personal relationship with God, He directs your path, and you begin to see some kind of things become reality in your life. It is very important. Like Proverbs 3:6 says, you should remember the Lord in everything that you do, and He will show you a way. If you want to grow, trust in the Lord. Don't depend on what you know. What you know is good, but depend on God as well. It is very important. Build a relationship with God, and you will see how far He will take you. No matter what you think, where you think you are, no matter your level, it doesn't matter. He's not interested in that. He's interested in your heart. So it's very important. Build a personal relationship with God. It is very, very important. All right. I think this is the end of the presentation. So if you have any question, please, you can drop it in the chat box. So like I said, build a personal relationship with God. Go closer to God. He's going to help you. There are lots of professionals that have been helped by God. There are people that have been helped by God. There are people that their lives are like, you can really look at their life and see God. So it is very important, no matter what you do, remember, God is the source of everything. If you depend on Him, there are things that you will not struggle about. If you depend on Him, there are opportunities that will come to you naturally because of the relationship. When you build that relationship, it gives you an advantage. So please, as much as you can, build a relationship with God. Go closer to God, and He will always direct your way. All right. Any question? Not necessarily a question. Anything you want to say, anything you want to add, anything you want to learn, anything you've learned, just say something. If you cannot speak, you could type it. It's fine.
I wanted to say something. I don't know.
All
just
right,
to
Sydney,
add.
go on.
Okay. I wanted to add to it concerning this issue of supporting each other. Like for instance, that you are here and you are attending a Zoom meeting that you know that is very important. You know how it's going to impact your life, and you also have friends that you know that you can contact them, and then you just get to like tell them that something is going on somewhere, somebody's doing something that you know that I would love you to participate in it. Because when it comes to growth, you don't just grow, you don't derive that satisfaction when you are growing alone. You cannot be growing in an environment like you work the farm and you are the only, it's just a single crop growing. You won't be satisfied. You will want the whole plant, you want the whole farm to be well grown. So when you want to you want to improve on yourself, at least turn and look around your surroundings. Look at the people that surrounds you and support them. Even when you go on YouTube, like on Facebook, you will see a content that you're going to waste like even 45 minutes of your time listening to great content. But just to click that like button, it's a problem. Or even to say something, you won't say anything, but yet you will be discussing with your friends and you'll be like, I saw this content on Facebook, they were saying this, they were saying that. But yet just to click that like button is a problem. So I just want to encourage each other. I just want to encourage all of us that please, we should learn, we should develop it as a habit. When you see something nice, learn to recognize it, appreciate it. It's not going to change anything, but it's just going to give reasons for that person to keep on, like to motivate them to do more. So that is just what I wanted to add. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for everything I've learned. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sydney. Thank you for adding your voice. And from what Sydney said, I forgot something. Please let me mention this. There is this aspect of commenting on social media. Please, better stay quiet than to say nonsense. There is this thing we call intelligent comments. If you see somebody makes a post, just try it. Just take it like an experiment, right? just do it. Just like maybe if you see a post that is related to health and all of that, just comment intelligently and see what happens later. There are people that will inbox you just because of the comment you made. I'm saying so because I have experienced it. There's someone that will inbox you and say, okay, I need help with this. Can we work towards this because of what you said? Don't go on a post and maybe they are talking about, let me say, maybe they are talking about diabetes, and you just go and maybe the funny part of it, you just focus your attention on the funny part of it and you just come and laugh. You're laughing like a professional that who ever know you. How do you sell yourself? You can sell yourself through people's platforms. Yes, you can. If you see somebody makes a post, just go there, comment. Even if it means you going back and researching on that thing before you come back to comment, it's very okay. If you see a post, maybe like now we know this is breast cancer awareness month. If you see a post on breast cancer, don't just go and just read and you scroll and pass. Write something about breast cancer. When you write it like that, you think maybe people are not noticed. People are noticed. It is very important. If you see somebody makes a post about maybe healthcare or something, just write something very intelligent rather than just going and laughing under that post and passing. Please, better just keep your comment to yourself. Because when you make it like that, you ridicule yourself in public. And you think those things don't matter. They really matter. Commenting intelligently on posts, it is very important. Try it for 1 week and come back and tell me and give me the testimony. It is very important. If you see something, that's what I said. One of the things I mentioned is you should follow the trends. Like each month has something we are focusing on. I think last month was based on the heart, like awareness regarding the heart and how you can be healthy and all of that. If you come across a post that is talking about heart conditions and all of that, if you don't know what to say at that time, go to Google something, learn something from Google, bring it back to the comment section and write something. So it is very, very important to comment intelligently, and also whatever you share or what you share on your media platforms, please hold it, guard your social media platforms like maybe an egg. Guard it jealously. Guard it jealously. Because something like LinkedIn, if you mess up in LinkedIn and your account is suspended, you cannot have the same profile. You cannot have another account again because you're logging in with with LinkedIn. One of the criteria is that you have to log in with your original information, your original picture. You're not allowed to go and take somebody's picture. It's not like Facebook where you can just go, you can take maybe a celebrity's picture and you put on your profile picture and all of that. No, when you come to professional platforms like LinkedIn, you have to use your own pictures and your own information. So imagine that you just go there and you mess up and your account is suspended. What next? So it is very, very important. Let's take this serious. Any question or anything to say? Richard said, I really enjoyed the presentation, even though I joined late. That's all right, Richard. If you want, we could send the recording to you later. All right, anyone else? Anything, it could be a question, it could be a worry, it could be anything you want to say.
Okay, I enjoyed this section, including the one of yesterday. It is an amazing thing to be a part of this. And then I want to say I really enjoyed reading about telehealth. This starts today, but I promise to make a research on telehealth. I really enjoyed it. And I was like, wow, so people are actually working from home and some people are still stressing themselves to do this and that. Well, it's just so simple. And then I was actually very happy. I think maybe after.
I think her network is bad. All right, she might come back. All right, like she was saying, it is very important. Unless you have, if you don't, that is why most of the times when you're paying for a training, you're not paying for the training, you're paying for the knowledge, the superior knowledge the person has. Because it's knowledge that will be able to unveil a lot of things. If I don't have knowledge, if I'm not knowledgeable about a particular topic or whatever, I can't come to you and tell you something I don't know. So at times we pay for the knowledge, the superior knowledge people have. So it's very important to always read on something. I think when she comes back, she can continue. Anyone else? Oh, Courage, are you back? All right. Anyone else?
Okay, Serena has a question. Have I have this question: can voluntary service be done at any level?
Yeah, it
By
can be done
Serena.
at any level. Yes, it can. For example, if maybe you are just in year one, and maybe during the holiday, and you have a place where you can practice, just go there and make sure you're true with your information. I am a year one student from this place. I want to volunteer. It's okay. It's like doing your clinical rotation. Even when you're in level 1, level 2, level 3, or level 4, you can still do your clinical rotation. So it's the same like voluntary service. Just say, okay, I want to volunteer. Just be true about your information. I think that answers your question.
Okay, ma'am. Another question from Amajuel. Thank you, ma'am, for the presentation. Please, can one doing chemistry with a minor in pharmaceutical chemistry pursue a career in nursing?
Yeah, you can. Anyone can pursue a career in nursing. Be it somewhere, even if you're maybe an art student, you can always pursue a career in nursing. It's possible, no matter your level. Even if you studied business and maybe, what do they call it? Business in school, and you want to pursue a career in nursing, it is okay. It is very okay. You can always start from anywhere. It's not like maybe if you want to become like a radiologist or maybe a medical laboratory technician, you have to be strictly a science student. But with nursing, an art student can go in. Maybe someone that did maybe accounting and all of that, you can still become a nurse. It's all right. It's very okay. Anyone else?
Okay, ma'am. Please, can you clarify this doubt? What do they mean by nursing is an art and nursing is a science? Can you please clarify that?
Nursing is an art and nursing is a science. Yeah. One thing, while they say nursing is an art and nursing is a science, it's because actually in the body of nursing, there are some scientific aspects of nursing that makes it a science. And when it comes back to the practical part of it, it makes it an art because you are actually doing something, and based on the knowledge you already have, the scientific backing, it makes it a science. So it's like incorporating what you know, the scientific aspect of it, and bringing it into practice, the art of it. That's why it's easy for you, being a science student or an art student or an accountant student, to get into the profession, because when you get into the profession, you can always see, find yourself incorporating in the system. So that is the basic I can give when it comes to understanding it as an art and as a science. So anyone can become a nurse. Someone said, Brenda said, is it advisable to study even when not practicing? I don't think I understand the question. Can you restructure, please? Is it advisable to study even when not practicing? Do you mean like just study the nursing for yourself, or please, if you can clarify the question? Anyone else before Brenda drops? Is it advisable to study when not practicing? Anyone else? Okay, she said, for those who have completed a bachelor's degree but don't yet have a place to practice. You don't have a place to practice. Is it like you don't want to practice, or you don't, like, for example, you don't want to practice at all? Because, for example, if you have already obtained a degree in nursing and you're not practicing yet, you don't have a place to practice, I'll advise you look for a place like to do voluntary service. But if you're unable to do it, continue studying. Knowledge that you acquire will never go for waste. Continue studying. If it means you continuing to have a master's degree, it is okay. But in as much as you're getting the certificates, try to do maybe 1 or 2 things that will put you in the field and you start practicing, as no matter how small it is. So it's okay to keep studying. Like, there are people that they have done their diploma, had their bachelor's, had their master's degree, but they have not really practiced minors, maybe clinical rotation and all of that. They've not really been able to practice. So it's okay, you can still study and continue without necessarily practicing, but it's always advisable to practice while you're studying so that you have that knowledge gap should not exist. I think I've answered your question, Brenda. If not, maybe you can ask again, or you could PV me if you don't understand. Anyone else?
Okay, Koresh is back again. Please, Ma, I would like you to please recommend some nursing books for me and also some programs online that I can learn about nursing from.
All right. Okay, I'll advise you download Allison. Allison, let me see. I think there are free courses there that you can. Let me see. Allison, yeah, Allison. Download the app Allison. You have a lot of free courses where you can enroll and study. And one other thing is the textbooks you could still study on YouTube and all of that. So it depends on your way of studying. There's somebody that studies by seeing, there's somebody that studies by who necessarily have to read. So it depends on your way, the way that suits you best. Because there are also free textbooks that you could download. There are others that you can have on Amazon for sale, like an ebook and all of that. So I'll write it down in I think in the group. Allison, just download the app Allison. There are lots of free courses that you can take. Courage, did I answer your question?
Okay, Sidonie has something to say.
All right, Sydney, go on.
I want to say something regarding the Allison app, just to clarify for those who don't really know about it. That app is a very nice app. And the thing is, one advantage of the app is that you don't just, once you study, it's not like any other textbook that once you just study, the knowledge is just kept for you to just like write it down. It gives you a certificate. Once you study in that app, once you are done, they will ask you if, because you need to pay for it. You pay for it actually. So when you pay for it, they were going to ask you if you need the certificate or not. And if you don't have money to pay for it, they will just keep the certificate there for you. If you, for instance, you want to look for a job, you can just go there, you pay for it, then they issue you the certificate and you use it to apply for your job. So it's very good because they issue certificates that are well recognized all over. You can even just be at home and you even study it. You can study all the nursing courses and you apply for a job, especially for something like this apprenticeship or volunteerism. You can just go there like in a center or anywhere in a hospital. You can just practice for some time and just in the twinkle of an eye, you can just get a very good job, even without going to school to actually apply that you want to be a student or do something. That is just what I wanted. That is just the little thing I wanted to chip in. Thank you.
All right, Sydney, thank you for adding your voice. Any other worry or anything to say? Who has not said something? Joel, are you there?
Ma'am, please, I have a worry. People
Go
have
on.
already studied nursing. Most times when you ask them questions, they're always like, universities are not the best place to study nursing. That is better you go to a nursing school because university is based more on theory than practical. So I'm always confused which one is the best to attend.
I think that question is quite tricky because actually it's something that is happening and it's almost like go to this school, don't go to this school. But the only thing I can tell you is I can only recommend you the schools I know they do best. That's the schools I know they have produced students that are really doing well. Because it's always like, don't go to the uni, go to the uni, don't go to the uni, go to a professional school and all of that. It's always common. Even me, when I wanted to enroll into my own studies, I also faced the same situation. But I finally went to St. Louis. So if I want to, I might recommend St. Louis University Institute to anyone. If you are in Bamenda, if you are in Yaoundé, or if you are in Douala, I'll recommend that school to you. Or maybe Florence Nightingale if you are in Bamenda. And then which other school? I think Polytechnic Bambui. Yeah, it's another school. Those are the schools I know they train good students. That I can only tell you that. Before the uni, I don't really know. I can't really tell. I can't really say don't go to the uni, go to a professional school. Really, Courage. Which school have you enrolled in, Courage?
I was trying to enroll in St. Thierry Higher Institute.
Where is that place?
St.
It's
Thierry Higher
in
Institute,
Bamenda.
it's just a new school that just
It's a new
came in.
school,
Yeah, it started in Kumbu in 2016. Yeah, and it advanced to a university, like that was last year. It was a
Okay.
vocational training institute. Yeah, it's well recognized by the government, I think.
All right. I don't know about the school. I think it. Okay.
Yeah, I will
Yeah,
say
Courage. So yeah, you can compare the various schools. Like I told you, the 3 schools I've told you, those are the schools I really know much about. All right. Delight, do you have anything to say? We also have Serena. I think Serena said something from the beginning. Anyone else? Okay, one thing I also want to say is we are going to have subsequent sessions, and the subsequent sessions are going to be very, very what can I say? They are going to be very, very enriching, because it will not just be me training. I will also have other people joining to train. It's really those that have been practicing and those that have the experience and those that, yeah. So subsequently, we will have more sessions. But like I always advise, please, when you have a session like this, make sure you go back with something. It doesn't matter the number of sessions you attend, but your ability to take action really, really matters. All right.
Okay, ma'am, there's a question.
Okay.
From Amajuel. It reads, ma'am, please, if you don't mind me asking, what prompted you to go into nursing, or when was your aha moment? Yes, that's what Juel is trying to ask.
Oh, let me see the question, ma'am. Please, if you don't mind me asking, what prompted you to go into nursing, or when was your aha moment? All right. Before this one is very this one is a very funny story, actually. But firstly, when I was I think that was just about Form 3, Form 4, my elder cousin, she was a nurse in St. Louis. She was a student nurse at St. Louis. So at that time, I thought St. Louis was a school that trains doctors. Like the girls are the female and the men were like the male doctors. So I didn't know it was actually a school with different departments, and the people I used to see in front of the school campus were people from a diverse departments. So I was always like, okay, I'm going to go to St. Louis and I'll train to become a doctor. That was my thought about it. So with time, I started noticing that actually St. Louis was not like a school that trains only doctors. So at that point in time, I still said, okay, I will go to maybe a medical school and all of that. But subsequently, I started seeing like the care, and also I had a scenario where one of my uncles, he was admitted to a particular hospital, and just because of the way he was cared for, I really looked like, okay, these people can really dedicate this kind of, because he was really in a critical condition. People can be this caring. So I said, okay, if somebody can offer such a service to my own person, then therefore I can also do this to somebody. So that was one of the things that motivated me to become a nurse. And because I had already admired my cousin and the way they dress, it was so beautiful. And a red tie, that was the dressing code. So first of all, the dressing code really made me to admire the school. And secondly, because my cousin was going to the school. Thirdly, because of the way they attended to my uncle. And fourthly, because of other external factors like, okay, because of the way you do this, I think you have these characteristics of becoming a nurse. Like people telling you the way you act, the way you care, and all of that. Those are those are the things that really aspire me to become a nurse. So I can say that, yeah, that is it. So that's what I can say. Is it Brian that asked a question or Joel?
It's Joel.
All right, yeah, Joel. That's it.
Okay, ma'am. In line with Joel's question, like in Cameroon, there is this kind of a mediocrity mindset that people have about nursing. You see, like for instance, at the level of high school, students who want to pursue their career in any medical field, most of them are more saturated in trying to study medicine without actually knowing what medicine is. And if you want to look and ask about their passion, you see that their passion is being tied either in nursing or in medical lab or radiology or others. But it seems like our society has made it in a way that everyone wants to become a medical doctor. And when you go to seek for someone's help to try to know what to study in the university, like in the medical field, you see most people want to tell you that if you're studying nursing in Cameroon, that there is low pay, that there is there are already many nurses in the street, that they don't have jobs, and that being a doctor is something that you'll be well respected. So I want you to please clarify this stuff.
All right. Yeah, Stanley, I understand your point, because when I did my diploma in level 3, I think my thesis I defended on the topic. I defended with Sydney that it was adolescents' perception of nursing as a choice of career among youths that was 18 to 25 years of age in the St. Paul's Comprehensive College, and the perception they had about the nursing profession was very poor. So that is a stereotype that had already existed from the past, because even before the time of Florence Nightingale, we can see that nursing was reserved for the less privileged, for women, for those that were poor and all of that. So that stereotype from the beginning is still there up to today. And also one other thing is that makes it difficult for people to admire the nursing profession is because we as nurses, we don't do the job the right way. For example, because of the gap that we have between our knowledge and what we practice, it makes us to begin to act like robots, and we end up trying to fit in under the medical doctor to be like we are maybe the doctor's assistant. We are not the doctor's assistant. Nursing is a profession on its own. And unless you acquire that competence up to that level, you will not be able to act. So it goes back to being able to have the knowledge from the foundation, have the right knowledge, and like try to break that stereotype that it is a less privileged profession and all of that. You can really see there are people that they just recently discovered their opportunities in nursing. They just feel like, okay, when you finish doing your nursing, you carry trays and you follow the doctor around. No, it depends on how you present yourself. Like, for example, you can find yourself in a clinical setting where you practice differently from those that are there. Why? Because you know what you are. You know who you are. You know what you are capable of doing. You already admitted the fact that your profession is separate from that of a medical doctor. So, Stanley, this problem still goes back to the stereotype that a nurse is a doctor's assistant. A nurse is not a doctor's assistant. Those are separate professions on their own. We just come together to make it a healthcare team where we can work in collaboration and help the patient. So I hope that answers your question. So as a nurse, no matter as much as you can, make sure you make people to know that this stereotype is not correct. Though. Make them know that this thing that you're thinking is not correct. My profession is very, very noble. It depends on how you will behave now. It depends on how you will practice. Because there is a lot of, maybe I call it a lot of malpractice. And because of the malpractice, it makes it more easier for people to think that we don't know what we are doing. So present yourself like someone that knows what he or she is doing, and people will respect the profession. All right. Any other question? If
please,
not,
ma'am. Please, ma'am, can you clarify how is a nurse different from a doctor? Like, how is a nursing profession different from a doctor's profession?
All right. I don't know how to clarify this, but I will say A nursing profession, that is right. Even if you look at the ethics, like what you study to become a nurse and what you study to become a doctor, it is different. What they teach you, the nurse is like rendering that direct care, but a medical doctor is more specific with like diagnosing the diseases, prescribing the medications and all of that. But you as a nurse, your primary duty is to provide that care to the patient. That is your primary duty. But for the medical doctor, he or she is based on doing the diagnosis, you can still consult like a nurse, you can still prescribe like a nurse, but that is not your primary role like a nurse. Consultation, prescription is the secondary role of a nurse. The primary role of a nurse is to provide that care to the patient and make the patient comfortable. You are the one that is directly connected to that patient. That is why we have this we have the nursing care plan. If I think those that are already studying already, or those that are practicing already know what we call the nursing care plan. That is to show you that just with the nursing care plan, it already shows you that what the doctor is doing is different from what you are doing. When they give you like a diagnosis, okay, if they diagnose a patient of malaria and they bring the patient to you and they say, okay, this patient has malaria, this is the drug and this and that. You as if you're performing at your best and you actually know what you are doing, you are going to draw a care plan for that patient, specific to that patient. Okay, with this malaria, I'm going to be managing temperature. I am going to be managing pain. I'm going to be managing this. Just with that, that is like trying to render the care. So when you're doing maybe at the level of assessment, even when the doctor does his or her own assessment, you as the nurse, you have to do your own assessment, because it is through your assessment that you'll be able to develop a care plan that you will help the patient with. So at the level of the assessment, before the planning, before you're implementing, at the end of the day, you're the one offering the care. You are the one monitoring the patient to see that, okay, this drug that was prescribed, I don't think it's working. I don't think this patient is improving. I think I could talk to the doctor and let's see if we could change the treatment plan. So that is the difference between, like, the real difference, like I can say, between a nurse and a medical doctor. Courage, are you clarified?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Stanley said, Courage, if you're in Bamenda, make sure to get connected with me, please. All right, that's you guys. That's your personal thing. Okay, any other thing? If not, we could call it Asma. Welcome. Who else? Zian. Welcome to you guys. Although you guys are logging in when it's almost the end of the session, but like I said, even Ben, I can see you. Like I said, there are other sessions that will be coming up with other key players in the healthcare industry. So we are anticipating and looking forward to that. Okay, anyone that is just logging in, if maybe you have something to say or maybe a question, you can just go on and ask. Anyone? Anyone? And one other thing, don't hype yourself for what you don't know how to do. Don't hype yourself. Branding yourself is different from hyping yourself, please. Don't go and say something like, don't go and say you can do CRP, what cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, when you cannot do it, please. Don't hype something that you cannot do. Be humble enough to learn as much as you can. All right, Ben,
Hello.
go on.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing great. From my side, I've just joined. Yes, I'm sorry because I had some work to do. Thank you, dear, for your time, for explaining all of that. I have a question on this concern of career advancement opportunities in nursing. My question is, does it is there any difference depends on where you're practicing nursing? So there are some points to work on so you can advance your career. Like a nurse in Canada is not a nurse maybe in Morocco or in Nigeria. So my question is, what is the difference and how can we work with that? Or if there is a difference? Did you got my question?
Yeah, I heard your question right. Yeah, the nursing you do in Canada is different from the nursing you do in UK. But the thing is, and all of the advancement opportunities, it is universal, it is global. It is global. It's not like career advancement opportunities in Canada is different from that of the UK, it's different from that of Cameroon. It is not different. The problem now is being able to know where your certificate lies, the level that you are in. For example, if you have a diploma and what is required to pursue that opportunity that you want, it's maybe a master's degree. You can go forward to that. Always try to identify, like that's what I was saying, identify the knowledge gap that you have. If you see that maybe what you're studying, that's why it's good to do good research before you, when you choose a particular field that you're interested in, a particular specialty, make sure you do lots of research to be sure about what that specialty requires of you. Maybe you could be obtaining another certificate, it could be practicing for a particular length of time, it could be practicing in a particular unit and all of that. So it's about being able, like even if you're in Canada, you're in the UK, or you're in Cameroon, the opportunities are universal, but it depends on your level as an individual. Identify where you are, do research on that particular specialty, and see where you have to improve yourself on. Ben, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. So it's basically based on your research to know this.
Yeah, choose what you want, do research. Okay, I am, for example, if I'm in Cameroon and I want to be a nurse anesthetist, all right, what am I required? What certificate am I supposed to have as a nurse anesthetist? Maybe I need to have a bachelor's degree in general nursing. And then when I go to the master's level now, I can then specialize on nursing, nurse anesthetist. That is it. So it depends on the knowledge gap. It depends on on what certificate you already have and what you want to do.
Yes, clear. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much.
No worries. Okay. Any other one? Any other question? If not, all right. If there is no question, please, I'm just going to drop the link.
There is a question.
Who else, please? Just go on.
From Amajuel. Ma'am, please, from experience as someone in nursing, what advice can you give? Like things you wish you knew while doing nursing? The question is not really clear.
For me, I think, please, from your experience as someone in nursing, what advice can you give, like things you wish you knew while doing nursing? Joel, can you be more specific, please?
Like, as
You can
to
explain,
beginners, an advice from experience to beginners, like things you wish you knew, you things you wish you had known while doing, like an advice to beginners.
Okay. What I can advise, it's not too much, but what I can advise is, as a beginner, strive for the best. Strive to perform perfectly well academically. Don't be average, because there is a stage where you will reach where you wouldn't be able to go back and correct the mistakes you made. And also, there is a time, although I was able to pick up, there was a time where I was not well informed about a lot of things, and that affected me in one way or the other. So strive as much as you can to learn something. And also, there is one of these things, you don't just grow like wake up today and you're just the best. That's one other thing I can advise. Don't think it's just overnight. You just wake up today, I've gone to school and I've done this and I'll just become the best. No, you have to progressively work towards it. And what advice can I give again? Generally, I'll just advise, just make sure you are ready to do something. Make sure you have a plan and make sure you believe in yourself. Desire to be different. That's the advice I can give. Desire to be different. It is a profession that you will enjoy if and only if you have that motivation from within. If your motivation is intrinsic, you're going to enjoy the profession much more than someone that is just doing it because of maybe the money or maybe the opportunities that you could have. Joel, I think I answered your question. If not, just tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm okay.
All right. Anybody? Anyone else? Anyone else? All right. If no one else, I think we can call it a night. Thank you all for joining. I hope you learned something that you're going to implement. And in case you have any worry, don't hesitate to come to me. I'm always open to any questions or any worries. And also remember to do the assignment, connect with somebody, send me a proof of the connection, change something on your profile, write down something you want to do, believe in yourself, build a personal relationship with God, and see how far He's going to take you. All right, guys, I think we can call it a night then. Please, I'm going to drop